Welcome to the instructional video for the Roller Team T-Line 740. So walking around the vehicle, it's based on a Fiat cab on the 130 brake horse. Behind the driver's door we have your main freshwater filler point, and that empties just from the pipe just at the bottom there, and that's where you also empty your wastewater as well. So that's there. I'll show you how to empty the fresh water when we get inside. Behind that we've got the gas locker, so you unlock it and twist it. That will take 2 bottles in there, and it will require a pigtail to connect it to, whether you're using butane or propane. That just clicks on the regulator just on the top there. Behind that we have the mains plug-in point, so this is how you get electric to the vehicle. So you'll just need to plug that in when you get to a main site. And then behind that we have the toilet cassette. So the toilet cassette can only be removed when the toilet slider inside is closed, and to move that out of it you lift up the little lever there, slide it out, unscrew the little cap off the top there, and the blue button needs pressing at the top there, which depresses any air out of it. Clean it out, pop it back as you see it there, and then clip it back in so that that clips into place and is securely secured there. So that is your toilet. Back of here we've got your retaining clip for the garage door, and the garage door simply twist to unlock, and when you lock them with the key, it's one key to lock all of them, they will stay pressed in just like that. So opening up the locker area, you'll see then that we literally just hook that onto the little slider there, and that secures the door from moving. So this particular version has the height adjustable bed, and that pole there, which magnetizes just onto there, can be wound up and down to release the height of the garage from the smaller position that we've got it at the minute to the full height of the garage, or anywhere in between. When using the bed, you'll have the little turnbuckles at the side here, which that will need then folding up, and then nice and neat above. That's what you need to clip in if you want it in the high position. In the lower position, just reverse that procedure and pop it down, and then clip it in place just there. We've also got a light in here, and we've got heating. We've got the awning pole, as this vehicle's been fitted with an awning and the centre rafter. Your carpets, the ladders, and the black cab carpets. What we've also got in here is, pressing the button, access to your frost protection valve. So here is your frost protection valve for the boiler. Now you must do this to fill up the boiler, and what you need to do is turn that little lever, and then on the front side of it here there's a little button that needs pressing in. Now if the vehicle drops below 4 degrees it will automatically open that, and if it is colder in here than 4 degrees then it won't allow that button to stay in. So in that scenario you would run your heating, which is powered from the unit there, which would warm this area up and then allow you to do it. When you're draining it down, all you do is simply twist it the opposite way, and you'll hear a clunk like you did there, and that will drain down the boiler water to stop it from freezing up. So that's where that's located. You can also get access to it from in the vehicle as well. We have some tie downs just there and on the other side, and when I come round to the other side I'll show you that we've got a mains point and a 12-volt socket fitted in there for you. On the back of the vehicle it comes pre-installed with a tow bar and a bike rack for 3 bikes. Reverse camera is just at the top up there, and your high brake light is also up there. Onto the passenger side, twisting the locks again to gain access, and again on this side of it we have a retainer that holds it, so it's just a spring retainer there rather than your clip. We have your mains and 12-volt sockets which are located, and then again access to the panels the same way on the other side. Twist that up, fold it, and then clip it in, and then reverse the option if you have it in the lower position, as we are doing today. So to close it, push the door in firmly, twist the lock, and then you would pop the key in, which I'll show you on this side. Just quarter of a turn and it will stay in place on that side. It's one key that does all the locks, so you'll find that quite easy to do. Forward of that we have our vent for the boiler. So this is the flue vent, so be careful, it does get warm, please don't hang anything on it. Forward of that we've got our fridge vents, so you can get covers for these. At the top we've got the awning, and I will still send you a separate video for the awning. And you can see just on the roof there we have a digital aerial, which is the furthest to the back of the vehicle, the smaller one, and then a satellite system. I'll show you how they switch on inside. Past the habitation door, that's a manually locking door, again with the same key. We come to the diesel filler point, which is just there, and you use the Fiat key to open that. Into the cab we've got our bonnet release catch, which is simply just a pull down, and that will give you access into the bonnet area. The engine battery is actually located underneath this panel here in the floor, in front of the passenger seat. So if you need to get to the battery or change it, that's where it's located. Under the passenger seat we've got your toolkit, and under the driver's seat you will see there is a little isolator key, and that turns off the power to the back of the vehicle should you not want to use it over any long-term periods of time where the vehicle's just stationary. We've got passenger airbag, we've got glove box, drink holders, air conditioning, a manual 6-speed gearbox, and we've got the entertainment system, which I'll come on to later, but that has your radio, your media, your nav, your phone and other options. Your media plugs in through the little ports just in the centre area there. The vehicle itself is fitted with Remy's cab blinds. They simply slide along, both on the side windows and on the front windows. The front windows just magnetise together, and they will fit around the rear view mirror point just up there with a little cutout just there. Just be careful opening and closing them. So the rule of thumb is not to force anything on the motorhomes. If it feels like it's forcing, just gently put it the opposite direction and just try again. So that's the outside of the vehicle. Let's move on inside. So we have got your fly screen and your blind on the habitation door, and then in the little pocket to the left of the door we've got a little storage unit, and that's where you will find your fuses and your main ICD block for your electrics. So once inside you'll see there's a mirror and a couple of switches by the door, and the main control panel is just located just above the fridge. So the first thing we want to do is we want to put power to the vehicle. So we press the standby button. That gives us power to the unit, as long as you have got that isolator switch turned on underneath the driver's seat. Next option is you want to put your lights on. So you can press that. If you've turned your lights off separately, they'll stay turned off, and you'll have to turn them on and off with the light switches that are around the vehicle in the different areas. The ones underneath here will just turn on and off, and then simply press on and off for the different buttons around the vehicle. There are some hidden ones on here, so I'll try and give you a little pointer into where they are. We have got an awning light button, which is this button just here, and then we've got the water pump button. So you'll hear when you turn that, if you've no water in like we've got at the moment, then it will just make a noise until it gets up to pressure. Please don't put it on though if there's no water in. Make sure you have filled up your fresh water tank before you do that, and then press the button to get the pump up to pressure, and then it'll allow you to feed either the boiler or the cold water. We have got temperature button inside. We've got the water level. We've got a button underneath to tell us that we're plugged into mains as well. And then we've got the levels of our leisure battery and our vehicle battery. So that's your main control panel. I'll come on to the boiler and the other options after, but let's do that first. So how do we fill up the fresh water? So the fresh water tank is located underneath this seat here. So you will need to remove the cushions to find the water tank. Unscrew the cap, and then you will find inside the actual tank itself 2 levers. Now in the position that they're at the moment, they will drain the vehicle down. To simply put it into a working operation, you just push the taps down, so you can remove it completely just like that. Or, now you can see it better with my arm in place, you can see that they are pushed down to fill it up. Now why have you got 2? You've got 2 because you have got a travelling capacity of 20 litres and then the full maximum capacity. So if you wanted to just set it to 20, then the higher one of the 2, so this one here, you would leave open and leave the bottom one, this one here, down. If you want to fill it up fully, then you would leave both of them in that position there. So I'll leave it in that position for you at the moment, so that you'll know the first time you come to fill up that that's where the position needs to be for you to keep water inside that tank. Once it's full, it will simply overflow back out the chamber that you fill up on the outside of the vehicle. The pump is located just underneath in the panel there, so should you need to know, that's where it's located. So popping it back, see that we've got the seat belts here, and I'll place everything back as the lounge is set up so you can see that as well. So with your seat belt set up, you'll see that you can carry 2 additional passengers, and by removing that little cushion there, you have the option to have footroom on both sides, just there. Reverting the lounge back is pretty quick. You simply just put the base and the cushion just there, and the backrest just in there. You will also see in this area there is an additional USB charging point, and the blinds and fly screens on all the windows are pretty much exactly the same, in the fact that you pinch them together and that will lift up the blind, and then pinch it again and that will lower the fly screen. To release both of them, you pinch that together and that lifts it up. The window stays, so undo, press the little buttons and undo it, and then it's gently out, and that will load it back in, and then further out we'll load it further back in, and then when you're ready just pull it back in, and then just make sure that you are clipped in just like that before travelling off. So always a little key to just make sure the windows are in place before that. The table itself will lower, and you'll use the bar to release the table underneath. If you want it in a lower position, then you'll feel that there is pressure on that. You push it, and then it will simply go up and down and move in position on the telescopic leg, should you want it to do that. Behind here is the single seat, and above that you have a storage area. We also have storage around the front area here. The big picture window, which is also an opening window, is located just there. We've got storage on this side, and we've got storage underneath the bed just there. The little hole in there is the manual winding point if the bed motor fails. That's where you will put the spindle into it to wind the bed back up manually. The bed itself will operate just here when the power's on by pressing the button, and that lowers the bed. Again, make sure that there's no obstructions underneath, and it will set to the height of the ladders, which will hook onto just here to gain you access. You have your own light up there, and there is some netting for the curtains that are just on a pull draw screen there. You will see that there's nets underneath the bed. They will fit into the little rings at the front and at the back and the side of that overcab area. Now we do recommend that you can put bedding on there. Just be careful how big your duvets are and your pillows. Don't put the motor under too much force, and what we would recommend is that you drop it off the roof when you're not using the vehicle during the winter months, to just let that area ventilate and stop any build-up of condensation when your mattress and your covers are close to the roof area. Now behind that we have a Hecky roof light, and that opens simply by pressing the button down and lifting it up. It also has on it a blind and a fly screen on there. Yeah. So again, please ensure that these are all closed and it's over the button just like that before setting off. The kitchen area, we have got your 3-burner gas hob. So literally just there, and that will light with a gas lighter. Please ensure that you don't close it when they're hot, as that will shatter the glass in the vehicle. Underneath that, we've got a oven and a grill. Pretty self-explanatory. You've got an igniter here, and then you turn it right is to the oven, sorry, to the grill, and left is the oven, which you can control the temperature. The grill is either on or off. Grill pan's just located just there. Your sink area is just here, and once you've filled up your fresh water tank, we tell you to turn on the pump on the control panel and turn the tap to the hot, and then open it up, and that will pull the water through. Now initially you will find that they will spit and spurt with water, and that's just pulling the water from the fresh water tank through into the boiler, which is in the back room, up to the taps in the vehicle. Now open the taps both here in the kitchen area and in the bathroom area, and it makes sure that you bleed it all through nice and easily through there. You'll see just on the end of the actual tap itself, it'll tell you that if you turn it right it's cold and left it's hot. So put it on hot and pull that through. Once you've got water coming through, then you can come to your system here, which is your heating and hot water. Now a big tip for this, guys, is I always tell my customers the same thing. Do not turn this screen on until you've either got your gas on or you've got your electric. It just will stop you having any unnecessary error codes that come up on the system. So what we need to do then is we want to select what we want to go into, and we do this by navigating it, moving the button to the right or to the left. First of all, on here, which is your motorhome, we want the temperature to be set to a temperature which is comfortable. So once you've decided what that is, you turn the dial and then press the button in. The next option would be if you want to have the water on. So again, thermostat in the water is a bit of a clue on this one. We can turn it off, and as we'll demonstrate today, we haven't got water in the system. We would run it that way. If you have got water in, you can either heat it slowly on eco, or fast on hot, or very quickly on the boost, but this will take the power away from the heating to get the water up to temperature as quick as possible. If you're wanting to do both heating and hot water, you need to have that set to hot, and then your fan speed, which I'll come to later, on the setting high. So we've got heating within the vehicle, water heater, should you want hot water. The next option then is the fuel source. So the source of power that we're going to use. So gas, mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt electric, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt electric, 1 kilowatt electric only, or 2 kilowatt electric. So at the moment in time we're connected to electric, so I'm going to select the 2 kilowatt electric sign, and that shows a little symbol just above the line, just there. The next option along is to get the heating working. So at the moment, that would, if we select that option, it's eco, so that will slowly get us up to temperature. We can select high, which will get us up to temperature quicker. And again, you'll see that above the line, the amount of circles on the actual dial will change depending on what you choose. We also have a boost option, and as seen, I'm not doing the water today, we're going to select the boost. The boost option will get the temperature up to speed as quickly as possible. Now, the quickest and more efficient option for this heating system to get you up to temperature when we've had the cold periods that we're in at the moment is to have it on mix 2. You've got to have your gas turned on as well, so make sure that you do that. Would be that option there, which will use both the gas and the electric if you're hooked up to mains to get the temperature up as quick as possible. We don't have gas on the system today, so we're going to select the electric 2 as I mentioned. They are your fundamental options of the actual heating and hot water of the vehicle. You can go into the timer settings, and you can set the time by selecting that option there. And we also have an indicator to tell us whether we are hooked up to mains. Now the other key item to this is how to turn it off. Press and hold the button, and it will tell you that it's off. Now please do this before you set off, and do it before you unplug the electric and the gas, and again it will save any issues with the heating, tripping out, not finding a source of electric, and it will just make the whole experience a lot easier for you. In the cupboard above, we have got the solar regulator, the power box for the aerial, and there's a little black sliding switch that turns it on and off. You've got the blue light on, it's telling you that there's power to that unit, and we have the box for the satellite. The satellite turns on by pressing the button here, and it will automatically retract or go up depending on what you're trying to do. If you do start the engine and forget to do that, it is wired in a way which it will come down automatically, but it's advisable to always just bring that unit down when you can. It's searching there, as it says, for Astra 2. That's generally the satellite that you use in the area. Your TV can go in here, and to slide it out, you simply just pull that lever back, and that will slide out and rotate round should you want to do that in that area, or it will just clip in place and be visible from the cutout just there. It does take a while for that to search and do what it's doing, so just be patient with it. So underneath that we have our fridge and freezer unit. So freezer compartment at the top and fridge compartment underneath. To open them, you literally just pull these little levers down and just lift them up. You also have a winter button on these, which just leaves it ajar a little bit, as you see there, to stop any build-up of smells if you're not using the vehicle at all. It will beep to tell you that it's open if you set it out that way. And to turn the unit on, we press the button just here, and it illuminates the display panel at the front. So we have a few options. So we have gas, we have electric, and that's automatic. We have electric on its own, and we have the battery option, which will only work when your vehicle engine battery is running. It does not work when your engine battery is not running. What I would suggest is you flick it to automatic. Let it search the best source for you, and it will be the easiest way of doing it. This button on the side here now will temperature control it from the coldest to the warmest. Again, it's cold at the moment, so we don't need it on full whack. And then this option here is a little blower that blows air around to stop the seals from sticking on the freezer. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. It's easy to operate, easy to work. To turn the unit off, press and hold that button and the lights will go out. Moving back into the washroom area, we've got storage underneath here, and we also have, with the little release button just here, storage in either side, and the main socket just located just at the top up there. We've also got the toilet, and it's a Thetford toilet on this one. We have the flush button at the back, and I mentioned right towards the beginning of the vehicle about the blade valve being in the right position. This is how you move the blade valve. So pull it to the back, which will open the blade, and pull it to the front to close the blade. Yeah. So that is that option there for your toilet. Must be in the closed position to pull the toilet cassette out. It will slide around and move position should you want to do that. And to screen it off from the front area, bedroom area, sorry, you just release a little catch there. That screens off that back door. And then the front door, again, with a little screen, makes the whole area closed off and private when we have company in the vehicle. Underneath there is where your little switch is to turn off. A little light just there. We've got a coat hook there and storage. We've also got a ventilating with a blind, and then to open it up you lift it either to the front, just like that, or both together. Yeah, so you can blacken out that area. Behind me we have a very similar roof vent above the shower. We have a hanging rail just there for your towels. And again, mixer taps just on there. In relation to using the shower, just release the little handles that hold the door in place, and they will come together. You can remove the duct mat if you want to remove the duct plate just underneath there, and then just pop it all back so you don't have a drop in the level when you're using the vehicle. So that is your bathroom and your shower room. Quite unique, but it's a good little selling point, and it gives you plenty of flexibility to move around in different areas. We have steps up to the rear area and a little bit of storage underneath there. And again, I mentioned earlier that we have a little access panel for storage underneath here. And again, you can see just down underneath there is where the frost protection valve is, which I showed you earlier. Just there. We have light switches, which can just be found here, and TV bracket and TV sockets connected up to the aerials just there. The windows work the same way, with the fly screens and the blinds and the nets. You've got a big picture roof light above the bed, and that winds up with the winding handle just there. We have storage just on that side, light switches with USB charging points on either side of the bed, and the light switches, and then access to the cupboard spaces just there. So if I come back through, go on the other side, show you the other side. Again, we've got another little storage access panel just underneath there, and then storage just there, and again just up over the bed. Moving back then into the main body of the vehicle, you do need to ensure that all these little clips are in place for travelling on all three doors. So just in place there. The turnbuckles are back in place for the shower, and that all the window catchers are closed and present. Into the cab area, we've got your reverse camera monitor, steering wheel controls, cruise control and speed limiter on that side, lights and indicators on that side, windscreen wipers on that side, which is your driver's side. We've got your electric window mirror switches and your electric windows and your mirror switches. And on the end of this little stalk here, we've got a trip counter that tells you how far you've gone, your range, your fuel options, things like that. The seats swivel, and they swivel using these little pullbacks. So if you pull it back, it will only lock in place going forward, and then you lift up the seat position just at the front. So to release it round, just swivel it back there. That, guys, concludes the instructional video for this wonderful Roller Team T-Line 740. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you find the video useful. Look forward to your feedbacks and your comments. And we hope to see plenty of pictures when you're out and about using it. Thank you.